So Rosie said that TMF was going to be a mini-movie instead of a series, but she changed it. There were details that are different from the series we know now. For example, they had uniforms. Max was going to be the drummer, so Luke could have never existed or could have had another role in the series. We've seen a lot of Easter eggs in TMF, and one of those are characters from Rosie's previous projects, like Autumn from Girl with Good Luck, and also characters from My Drawing Came to Life. That suggests that those characters and TMF characters are from the same universe, and it would be interesting to see a crossover of all of them. Basically, Landa is the perfect gay couple, like Disney. Their only moment of tension was Stacy kissing Luke. But besides that, they are just perfect and very fictional. I think Rosie will create angst for them in season 2, to make them a realistic couple with challenges but also love. A Mary Sue is a term used for a perfect woman that has nothing bad. Daisy until episode 7 was like that. The perfect girl. Good grades. Head girl. We could say that she was slightly popular, even though if that wasn't shown in the series. Then we discovered that she didn't feel well being so pressured. She was really sad, and even not psychologically healthy. That's a topic we'll touch on the next level of the iceberg. Drew is the typical rich kid that bullies people and has a good position in the school due to his money. That's a point for a deeper level in the iceberg. Rosie guaranteed suffering for this character in season 2, and a lot of people in the fandom say that Drew really cared about Jake, even if he said that they weren't real friends. I think that was due to the anger of the moment. I think Drew will be jealous of Jake in season 2, because Jake is free. He doesn't have to lie anymore. I think that something doesn't let Drew be totally free like Jake. Still, that doesn't justify his actions. But I'm pretty sure that Drew is jealous of his ex-friend. This is a theory linked to Daisy being pressured in the level 1 of the iceberg. We know that Daisy has a lot of activities, and probably one of her moms or both are strict with her. If Daisy has been this pressured for so long, it wouldn't be strange to think that the immense amount of pressure affected her psychologically. I hope to see more of her life in season 2. This is a crazy theory with no solid proof, but also really interesting for a backstory, and also a theory to answer the question of how Maxed Out Band was created, how they met. What if the band members met in a therapy group that works with people with depression or other problems? And the music is a way to escape from those feelings, and that's how they created the band we will know in season 2. I really doubt this becomes canon, but it's just an interesting theory. Luke is more like a secondary character than a main character, due to his lack of personality and story in the series. But what if the negligence for Jis' character was a clue that Rosie created for his backstory, and we never thought about that? Maybe Luke suffers from severe negligence at home. That's why he spends a lot of time in Haley and Xander's house, and he doesn't like to talk about his family, because it's the only character in the music club that never spoke about his life in the series. Even his song is about his life with Xander, but not about his individual story. That's why some people call him Xander's boyfriend, as if that was his role in the series. But Rosie confirmed angst for him in season 2. We'll see if this theory becomes real or not. Along with Luke, they are both the most calm people in the music club. But Rosie revealed that Sean's parents are arguing a lot in episode 6. But what if that arguing is more violent than we think? It can include psychological, economic, or even physical violence. That amount of pain and violence is breaking Sean, but he hides it with a calm attitude, maybe to not worry his friends, and hiding it breaks him more. This theory, it's not totally confirmed yet. We know that Elliot suffers from social anxiety. It's not just shyness. But I think his anxiety is way more serious than it shows in the series. His anxiety in public makes him pass out, which is a seriously complication for his physical health. And even though it wasn't shown in the series, I'm pretty sure that Elliot suffered from panic attacks too. So his social anxiety is in a really high level. To finish this level of the iceberg, I want to talk about a curiosity. But it's a nice one, not a dark or sad theory. This is one of the multiple proofs that Rosie focuses on everything, even the smallest details. Characters' last names were not chosen randomly. They're linked to their personality. For example, Jake, his last name is Sterling, and that means high quality, due to his good voice and high potential. Or Haley Austin, Texas is known as the musical capital. That's linked to Haley's passion for music. I'll leave the rest of the meanings of the characters' last names in the description. And it would be interesting to know Drew, Daisy, Zoe, Laia, and more characters' last names. This is not a theory made by me. It was made by this user in the Music Freaks wiki page. I read the theory. Basically says that Millie is transgender due to her strength. The user says that it's manly, and also because her chest is flatter than other women's chest. This user also said something about Millie's short hair, but I'm almost sure that short hair is part of Millie's backstory in season 2. And, according to this user, Elliot is trans due to his high-pitched voice. I honestly don't think that's true, but what do you think of this theory, guys? After episode 5, Stacy got a lot of hate because almost ruining Landa, but that's not a good reason to hate on her. I'll explain why. Firstly, she loved Luke for a long time. She didn't know that Xander was in love with him too, and she is not obligated to know who else is in love with Luke. Some people say in this scene that Stacy got clumsy on purpose to have more time alone with Luke when he was about to talk to Xander, but that wasn't confirmed yet. We don't know if Stacy is a bad person. And lastly, people hate her for kissing Luke without his consent, and people who hate her for this reason are right and wrong at the same time. Yes, it's wrong to kiss someone without their consent, but it can be right depending on the person. That's the point some people are defending, and no, it's not right, no matter the person. Because in this scene, Luke literally did the same thing Stacy did. He kissed Xander without his consent. But there was just a few comments criticizing that. Just because it's Landa, it's cute and right. So let me tell you something. What if Xander wouldn't have been in love with Luke? What if Luke was in love with Stacy? What if Stuke was meant to be in the series? In that case, people that hate Stacy now probably would think that the kiss was cute and wouldn't be criticizing it. Let's talk about Miss Jones first. I have a theory about her. Maybe she didn't want to be a teacher in the first place. I don't have solid proofs about this because she's not a relevant character. I just found this article. Basically, there are 2 reasons why someone would be a teacher. Number 1, because they really have the passion and the dream to be a teacher. Or number 2, because they in college studied something that has not good employment rate. So they found that to live. I don't know why, but I think Miss Jones studied history in college and wanted to be something better than a teacher. I don't mean being a teacher is bad, but it has not the salary and the recognition it deserves. If that theory is true, which I don't think so, but if it's true, then despite being a fictional series, it wouldn't be too far from the reality a lot of teachers live every day, which leads me to the next teacher. In just one scene, the English teacher showed perfectly about the high amount of stress teachers live, but just because they're adults they have to control it and hide it, which is true. But being a teacher is a huge challenge, and it's normal to feel stressed. But if you let your anger control you, you can lose your job. And even the stress can lead you to serious health problems, mentally and physically, which sadly is a reality.
Sir, there is literally 5 minutes of the lesson left. What's the point?
The point, Leah, is for you to focus on your presentation.
I didn't include Miss Cherry on this, because for what I've seen, she seems pretty good being a teacher. But maybe she's not. We don't know about it. The truth is that the teachers deserve better. This theory was pretty popular a couple of years ago, because in Stacy's file, Rosie wrote Xander's sister PNG, which led a lot of people to think that Stacy and Xander were siblings and Stacy would be living with Xander's biological father. But that theory ended being false. Rosie confirmed that Xander and Stacy are not related. And it would be a bit awkward for Stacy since Xander would be dating her crush for a long time. But there's an interesting point about that. If the theory would have been true, then we could have had a clue of Xander's biological father appearance since Xander is really similar to his mother. So Stacy would have been similar to Xander's biological dad. So, his appearance is still a mystery. But we have his shadow. The only time we see him, it's in the So Sad meme published by Rosie. Like the Millie and Elliot theory, this is not made by me. It's made by this user on the Music Freaks wiki page. Honestly, it's a really interesting theory. I'll show you the user's points for this theory.
There's a scene in the advertisement where Drew is venting at the Jake plush, telling him that he would have supported his music career and even allowed him to use his karaoke machine. It's just that he didn't want Jake doing it with the music club. I also saw a video where someone was talking about how similar Drew and Xander are. Sadly, I lost that video. So that got me thinking, if Drew's supposed to hate music, why would he support Jake singing? Hell, why would he own a whole karaoke machine? And with the video pointing out their similar ties, as well as Xander's bio parents being divorced and us not knowing who his father is, either eyes that Drew and Xander share the same father and have different mothers. Their father's infidelity would cause both of the mothers to divorce, fight, or leave once they found out about it, causing both of Drew and Xander's biological parents to be divorced, which would explain why Drew hates Xander and Haley so much. Xander's got to keep his mother and get a new father while also getting a new sibling. Xander got to grow up in a more supportive and loving household, while Drew probably didn't. Drew is your classic spoiled rich kid who lacks his parents' attention. It shows when the only way he knows how to show love is by giving people money or flexing how much money he has, and then he gets surprised when he ends up being gold dug by people like Zoe. That would obviously cause jealousy when he sees who he could have ended up like. He could have ended up like Xander, in a more loving and supportive place than him despite both coming from the same situations.
Yes, guys, it's a really interesting theory. Let's see if Rosie makes that canon for season 2. Let me know in the comments, what do you think about this? Just because it's animated, it doesn't mean that it's for everyone. The Music Freaks, despite being the classic musical series, has things that children like 9 or 10 years old wouldn't understand. I'm not saying that it's just for adults, but not for children either. Sometimes the language, it's not appropriate. And this series is for teenagers. I think people over 12 or 13 are going to find TMF more enjoyable than younger children. So yes, just because it's gacha or chibi, An animation doesn't mean that little children should watch it. And especially because some people of the fandom. But that's a topic for a deeper level in the iceberg. To finish this level of the iceberg, I want you to be open-minded, because this is more like a what if. Instead of a theory with solid proof or a curiosity, it's more supernatural. The music club is the place where are most of the arguments in the show, with characters that belong to it, or people that don't belong to it. It's the place where Xander and Millie argue, then Jake and Xander, Haley and Drew. It's like in the music club, there must be an argument. It's also the place where Jake and the club divide. I know that the music club is the place for the plot of the story, but it's interesting to see it like a curse, when no one that enters gets out without an argument there. So basically Jake was right since episode 1, when he said that the music club was more like the debate club.
Is this the music club? It just seems I've stumbled across the debate club instead.
I think I understand. He must have a thing for teachers.
Dude, seriously, what is wrong with you today?
What? It's normal for a teenage boy.
I know that Liam is like a dumb and funny character, but his comments are usually awkward instead of funny. I won't talk for everyone because not all the boys are like that, but his attitude reminds me of those boys that are crossing puberty, or that can't have a normal relationship with a person. So they throw awkward comments that instead of making people laugh, they make everyone uncomfortable, for example. When Liam says that it's normal to have attraction for a teacher or someone's mother. A lot of boys in my class were like that. Of course, it's not everyone, guys. There's boys that have normal comments for conversations. So this is a really short theory. We all know that Xander's real name is Alexander, that Xander is a nickname. And when Shannon calls him Alex, he doesn't like it.
Alex! Is that really a way to talk about your club singer?
How many times do I have to tell you not to call me that?
I'm the one who named you, you know.
Created a theory about why he doesn't like it. Maybe Xander's biological father name was Alex or even Alexander. So Xander would be like Alexander Jr., but since he doesn't like to remember him, he prefers to be called Xander instead of Alex or Alexander. Though because of his reaction in episode 7, it may not be true, because he blushed of embarrassment and he was not that sad. But it's not impossible either. Since Luke doesn't have a backstory, I created an almost crazy theory, and it would be connected to the theory of the negligence of the Level 1. Due to Luke's parents' negligence, Luke prefers to be in Otherworld. His body is present on Earth, but his mind is away, and the only things that connect him to the Earth are the music, Xander, and the music club. And since he never tells anything to anyone, that just feeds his bad feelings and just dissociates from the world. That's why he always is calm, because he's not in the same world as his friends or family, away from the reality. After Rosie revealed what happened to Xander's biological father, people wanted to know what happened to Haley's biological mother. And it's almost confirmed what happened to her with this Discord post Rosie left on her server years ago. Even if it's not fully confirmed yet, we could say that it's the most popular theory in the fandom. Maybe Haley's mother passed away giving birth, or due to a sickness when Haley was a little girl. And since Rosie didn't say anything about it, it's what a lot of people think about Haley's mother.
More. Whoa, you look like. Wait, let me guess. You were up all night, Daisy.
For someone that haven't watched TMF before, this scene is polemic due to the language. But let me tell you that this is not a secret scene, or the real episode is nothing less than a joke, to make everything look out of context. It is kind of funny because we know it's not real and just a fan-made video. It would be funny to send that video to a person that never watched TMF to see their reaction. This is a theory made by this user on the Music Freaks wiki page. The user says that in this scene, there is a picture of a man, and that could be Jake's father. That since both parents have brown eyes and Milo has green eyes, then he's adopted. I'm sorry for saying this, but I think that theory is false, because that man appeared before in previous episodes. And I'm 100% that it's Bob Ross, a famous painter. So it's not Jake's father. We have to see Jake and Milo's father to see if he has green eyes. But even if Jake's father's eyes were brown, Milo can inherit his grandparents' eyes. This character is a bit strange by himself, but reading a bit more about him, I noticed his favorite food. In the TMF page appears that it's red blood, which, out of context, sounds a bit strange and even a bit scary. But I'm pretty sure that it's a parody of Red Bull or another energy drink. So there's nothing to worry about, guys, unless Rosie confirms something else. Every fandom has the good side and the bad side. The Music Freaks, despite not being that famous around the world, it's not the exception. In the good side, we can find things like drawings, edits, special videos. Also in social media, you can find video edits that are amazing. But just like every fandom, you also can find things that are disgusting. For example, unnecessary extreme hate to Rosie Closey because you don't like her series. You don't need to like it, but you have to express your opinion respectfully and not harassing others. And yes, guys, don't be surprised to know that there's also adults content with TMF characters. It's really disgusting. This is the proof that TMF has its good, but also its bad side. Don't be surprised to find a lot of things there. Literally, a lot. I don't know if this is a canon fact or more like a theory. I think it's a mix of both. The music club is more than a usual club to practice music. It's like a safe space for all the people that suffered emotional damage that left them with a big wound. Haley said that it was a family. And since they're all crossing a hard moment in their lives, they perfectly connect with each other and understand where they come from. The reason why I call it a limbo is because it's the place where after suffering for so long, you can finally heal. I don't call it a heaven because it's not like a paradise. They still have challenges, but in the end, they'll all heal together. I think this is a cute way to see the music club. Really good friends who help each other. So this is a really crazy theory, but I also think it makes sense. Even though not even in a single episode politics were mentioned. I think the teachers know perfectly that Drew is a bully and harasses another students, especially the music club. But Drew used the card, "If I have money, I have power over you." Since Drew's parents are rich, they could have given money to the principal of the school to avoid conflicts. Because in this world, there's nothing a few thousands of dollars couldn't solve. This is a topic that has a lot to explain. But basically, your success and position in life depends on your money. If you have a lot, you can do whatever you want without being in trouble. So yes, guys, I think the teachers and even the principal tried to talk to Drew, but the money gave Drew absolute control over them. Now let's talk about Haley and the anarchism. Hailey is against Drew, and she's not afraid in confronting him. Hailey basically said, "I don't care how much money you have or power over this school. You don't have power over me." Even if Hailey is the club president, she's in that position because the rest of the members trust her, and not because of fear, or because Hailey has more power and uses against them. Basically, they all live in equal conditions. Indeed, there's a lot of hidden politics in the music freaks that we can discuss. If you want, I can make a video just talking about this topic, because this video is too long to talk about all the hidden politics in the series. Remember the theory of the music club being an emotional limbo? This is a second version of that theory, but so much darker. In this theory, the music club members, all of them died by accidents, sickness, and even. But they had things to do before they died, so they can't reach the eternal rest yet. What connected everyone was the music, so that's why the limbo is the music club. All of them became friends because they have two things in common. First, they love music, and second, they will be trying all the time to finally reach the heaven they needed since their deaths. They've been trying for years, but still, they can't completely heal. There's still hope of that suffering finally leaving their inner souls. Or maybe, they are doomed to spend the rest of the eternity trapped between hell and heaven. This is a continuation of the music club after death theory. Let's talk about their songs. There are moments where they get desperate because they can't reach heaven, and their way to communicate, it's not talking, it's singing. In their songs, they remember things of their past when they were still alive. Also the dreams they couldn't reach because life ended for them. They sing their feelings. Their songs are a reflection of everything they could have lived. And maybe haven't listened to the songs carefully. Maybe they are asking for help to heal their suffering and end their monotone torture. What if the series we are watching is the whole limbo they are living, and they try to communicate with us? Since we are still alive, perhaps they are asking us for help, and we haven't realized that yet. This is similar to the post-mortem theory, but just Jake. He died before the events happened in Season 1. And what we see in the series, it's just his life before death. And every character represents one of Jake's emotions. Hailey would represent Jake's consciousness, that part of him that tells him what's right and what's wrong. Xander represents his inner rage, that rage you hide and you let out when you can't hold it anymore. Luke represents the calm Jake never managed to reach. Millie represents two things, the happiness and fun Jake had and lost, that inner child that passed away with him. Also, Millie represents his defensive side, that side you use when you need to protect yourself from others. Sean represents his ability to hide his feelings and show a smile and a calm attitude, to always help others instead of himself. Drew represents Jake's blame feeling, because he's the proof that he was a bully, and he doesn't want to repeat the same mistake again. Daisy represents Jake's hope, the hope of being a better person and be truly happy. Loya represents every time Jake regretted his actions, but he did it in silence, because he had trouble choosing sides, and he had that feeling of pleasing everyone. And lastly, Zoe represents Jake's contaminated soul for staying with toxic people, and his toxic side for trying to please everyone, hurting himself in the process. It's an interesting plot twist for the music freak story, but also really dark and sad. Rosie never made this public, but I think it's time for you to know where did she took inspiration for her series and what you can expect for Season 2 finale. She took inspiration by an accident in real life that happened years ago. An accident that sent more than 40 people to a hospital. And yes guys, the place was really related with music. Of course it's not real guys. The Music Freaks, it's not based in an accident in real life. It's just an amazing animated series. But sadly, the picture of the fire is real. It was an accident that happened in 2017. I wanted to finish this video with something that seems really scary at first, but it's not real. The Music Freaks, it's not based in an accident, guys.